So I'm not going to be one of those people that, tells you everything you already know about the show you just saw. So I am going to generalize episodes 1 and 2 of Star Trek Discovery Season 5. So Star Trek Discovery Season 1, although I pretty much hated it, I really loved the twist at the end of the first season. I really did love that. But I hated so much else that But I watched the whole season. I didn't like it, but I watched it. And then the second season, I kind of liked Pike and some of the things, and then I just realized this show's terrible. And then Season 3 was awful, and Season 4 was awful. And here we are with Season 4, or 5, rather, and it doesn't really matter because the show's just terrible no matter what, usually. However, I'll start by saying these first 2 episodes are probably some of the best of Discovery, I guess, so far, because the action and the visuals and the moving along is... I think modern audiences, like younger, will like it. But I just, at first I was cringing and rolling my eyes because it was doing the starting thing on the ship, and then it's like 4 hours earlier, and I'm like, oh no. But I thought that was okay, that stuff. What I didn't like was when they were all sitting around, hanging out 4 hours earlier, talking at the bar. Everyone talks like a stupid teenager, or like these all sound like college drama kids. That's what everybody sounds like. That's the biggest thing I noticed. These all sound like drama college students or something. They don't sound like real people, or scientists, or astronauts, or Starfleet people. It's just, this is not believable. I wouldn't even think cadets would be like this. These are the things that pull me out of the show. Oh my God, so cool. Oh my God. It's just oh my God. So pretty cringy, it's really sad that, you finally get you just get so much of this diversity and stuff like that Gene Roddenberry would have probably loved, and everybody loves so much, but then they are the dumbest sounding people that they've ever had on Star Trek. It's more like Harry Potter. It feels like this doesn't feel like Star Trek. It feels more like Harry Potter and Star Wars met with a group of drama Glee Club students. That's what it feels like sitting around this table again. So I'm like, ugh. Then Tilly sees some guy that she likes, so she starts acting like a weirdo, and that's weird. And just this already awkward thing looks more awkward. Okay. Saru is hooking up with a Vulcan. I heard other people talk about their chemistry and stuff like that. I didn't really care. It was all right, I guess. Then, beamed over into the Matrix, and then we get off into this whole thing. Anyway, whatever. The bottom line is I'm just going to skip right to my points. I'm going to skip right to all my points. This is probably, at least they were getting to points and getting to things. Do you know what I mean? Right away. This is all spoilers, by the way. I would hope that people would know that, but just in case before we get to them. Not that it matters anyway. I don't even know what. I got to remember to say that because I don't care. The crew talks like they're teenagers. The plot. I thought the guns by the bad guys, the girl and the guy, alien human bad guys, I thought those guns they used with the put people in the bubble was kind of cool. There was just cheesy lines, lots of action. I said that the ships look stupid. One of the first interactions with the other captain Michael Burnham has, of course, is mansplaining, like he's mansplaining her, but she's God, so she knows better. It's weird because even though the other captain guy, I don't remember his name now. I have heartburn right now. That's why I'm freaking out. Even though he is the one like screaming and mansplaining or whatever they want to call it, and he's like, no, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Just like the guy in the first season where he died or whatever. But Burnham, it's the way Burnham talks. Like, it's weird because you would think the guy is the dick because he's the one that's like, I know what I'm talking about. Trust me, Burnham, you idiot. But Burnham, even though she's not saying that as aggressively as he is, she comes off more enraging that she knows what she's talking about. Like, of course I know I'm Michael Burnham. How does she come off sounding more conceited and full of herself than he does? And it's just not really Star Trek, where there's always this massive conflict with people. One of the closest times we saw conflict, I think, between Starfleet people in the Next Generation, let's say, is when Riker, probably in season 3 of Star Trek: The Next Generation, when Riker is at odds with I forget her name, with the female commander. She comes on during the Borg episode when Riker isn't going to go take on his own command, and oh God, what's her name? It's driving me nuts. I've known her name my whole life, I feel like. I love her, though, by the way. She's great. She's a great actress in that episode. Best of Both Worlds. What is her name? God damn it. She's in the new Picard season, too. But anyway, that was one of the first, like, wow, this is like a real big conflict between two first officers almost trying to outdo each other. But it's handled so much better. This is just like, we're yelling at each other and whatever. But Discovery's like that. So, what else? I don't know. There's just cringe fighting in those times. So one of the things I'll say about Discovery, I'm going to say all the best things. The best things about Discovery are a lot of the visuals are pretty cool, but the ships are terrible. So it's always something, right? Like, the visuals are really cool, and it looks very futuristic, and Star Trek kind of looks like a movie, even though it's a TV show. So that's really cool. But the negative is the starships look terrible. Like, all the ships always look trash. So there were times in this episode where I felt like Halo, where I almost wanted to turn it off because I was like just bored by it or didn't really care anymore. At one point they bring on we're 900 years in the future or something from TNG, and there's a Data-like robot, synth, they're calling it synth again, android, and that was kind of cool, I guess, in a way, but whatever. I don't get. They're doing little things in this already to try to tie in Discovery to the other seasons of Star Trek, which I kind of appreciate in a way because, Star Trek Enterprise, if you guys remember, on the 4th and final season of Star Trek Enterprise, they really tried to tie in Enterprise to a lot of TOS stuff and things like that, and I thought that was cool. Rest in peace to the guy who basically was in charge of that whole season. Oh God, what is wrong with me? I don't remember names anymore. I must be having a brain stroke. Manny Koto. Rest in peace, Manny Koto. What a great season, Star Trek Enterprise Season 4. Great job by Manny Koto. Yeah, so, that was kind of neat. They were like, oh, when he gets shot and dies or whatever, they're like, we have to get the data out of him, and that was kind of funny. I mean, it was kind of funny, but it's just like, ugh. They showed us Picard. We find out that we knew this was going to be tied to a TNG episode. Everybody kind of knew that, and that was sort of out there. And it's the episode, of course, in TNG where everyone's on like a treasure hunt for some mystery thing that's going on. And they find out that the progenitors created all the humanoids in that part of this part of the universe and most of the universe. That's why so many people look like they're the same or look human, like Romulans and humans and Vulcans and Klingons even, and just everybody kind of looks a little bit alike in a way. And it's because they all come from this one creation that the progenitors did. And so we find that out finally at the end of this episode, and it's kind of funny because it's tied to that TNG episode. It was also good to see a Romulan warbird or that Romulan ship at the beginning. We see a little shot of Picard in this, and that's really it. The only times my eyes perked up was, oh look, Star Trek TNG era stuff. Look at that. But then as soon as it was over, it was like, okay, we're back to this show. So as far as a MacGuffin or whatever, MacGuffin, Chase, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Star Trek, I'm sure this is going to entertain some people, and probably a lot of people that like Star Trek Discovery a little bit or kind of like it. This will probably be the one they like a lot more. Like, they'll probably like this even more. So if those people are like, I watch it, it's pretty good, it's okay, 6, 7 out of 10, they'll probably think this is an 8 or a 9. Now, I don't think that at all. I think the first 2 episodes were probably 6 out of 10s, and they weren't anything that I'll probably ever watch again. Just can't do it. I'm trying. Every other season, I usually tap out around episode 2, 3, 4. I tap out and I go, all right, this is terrible. I can't do this. But this one, it really feels like I might make it to episodes 3 or 4. But there's the progenitors from The Next Generation, an episode that I really wasn't that good. I didn't really enjoy that episode that much. And I remember whenever I scroll into that, there's like probably 5 to 10 episodes of The Next Generation where like I can only watch those episodes like once in a blue, like every 3 years or 2 years or something. I'll watch it, or maybe I'll watch it by accident. But there's probably like 5, I don't know, maybe like 5, 6, 7 episodes of The Next Generation that are like that, where I go, no, I don't want to watch, the one with Tasha Yar with the vaccine or whatever that one is, or the Naked Now or whatever. There's some of those ones I'm just like, I don't want to watch that one. This is also kind of one of those episodes that I don't watch a lot. And so it's funny they made this a part of it. But I probably watch it once a year. But I probably watch The Next Generation. I probably watch The Next Generation 2, maybe 3 times a year. I'm not kidding. Like, I watch The Next Generation a lot. Same thing with Deep Space Nine and Voyager and Enterprise. I just constantly watch them throughout the year, every year. I'm just always watching them throughout the year. So I probably watch all of those episodes multiple times throughout the year, every year at this point in my life. Because I go to bed to 1 or 2 or 3 episodes a night, and I fall asleep at some point. Me and my wife. So that was cool, but there's really just not a lot. There's just a lot of cheesiness. There's a lot of goofiness. I feel like the world is small. I feel like we're going to get a lot of character growth from this guy on the left, the new captain who ends up being demoted, I guess, or whatever. I'm not really sure what happened to him, but then Burnham is like, oh, I want you to be my first officer. I guessed earlier when Saru was like, you're going to need a new first officer. I was like, oh my God, he's going to be the new first officer, because there's going to be like this conflict where they're going to respect each other again and get along eventually or something like that. So I thought that was coming, and that's exactly what happened. So I was able to guess that. Of course, he's overbearing at first and then whatever. It's almost like the 7 of 9 and Shaw thing that's going on in Picard Season 3. So that's sort of a little bit like that. But whatever. So I everything else, I really don't have much else to say. I thought they were just pew, 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 pew. episodes, and I find myself not really interested in most of it. And that's it. That's it. I don't have much else to say. What do you guys think in the comments? Maybe I'll think of more to say if you guys leave comments down below. I just don't recognize this show as Star Trek to me. It doesn't feel like Starfleet. Doesn't feel like Star Trek that much. There's some little aspects of it where it's like 30% of this feels like it is Star Trek, and I feel it sometimes, and it's there, but that's only 30% of it, you know? And that's where I think we're always getting a disconnect. I think it's probably better than the Halo series so far. These 2 episodes were better than season 2 of Halo. That's not saying much because Halo has been terrible. Like, Halo has been really terrible. I keep putting on Halo because I want it to be good because I love Halo. And I'm like, I can accept that it's different than the game. I'll still watch it. But then I watch it and it's awful. The dialogue, the writing, Halo is terrible. And the only thing that is interesting in Halo is like the visuals of seeing what's going to happen, because you know the things that you're looking at, and that's it. And that's kind of what Star Trek has been reminding me of a little bit. Look, TNG stuff, and look, other Star Trek that was good when they bring it up. Oh, that's cool, but this show sucks. Sonika Martin Green or whatever, she looks pretty. I love her. She looks so pretty to me. Like, I love looking at her. Like, I love looking at, like, this guy. He looks like a goblin. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Like, she's so good. I like her as an actress. I like, kind of like likable, but the character is just never likable to me. The writing is so bad. It's just so like, I'm amazing. We're all amazing. We're Starfleet. It's so weird. There was it's because in this show, it's like they have to yell at you that this is Star Trek. They're like, we're Starfleet. Starfleet. We're Starfleet. Science. It's so weird. It's like it's insecure is what the show feels like. It's insecure. Everybody has feelings, and everybody's going to tell you their feelings. It's so weird. This show is so weird. It's all about feelings. And then they're insecure that they're really Star Trek. They're like, we're Star Trek, Starfleet, Star Trek. Like, no other Star Trek does that. It's so bizarre. The other night in wrestling, I cover a lot of wrestling on my big channel, and the other day, a former wrestler went and did an interview where he bashed the company. He bashed AEW, the other wrestling company, and the couple nights later, the AEW wrestling company opened up their show with a 10-minute rant about how this is awesome and we're awesome and every wrestler back there is awesome and we do this for you and there's been a lot of stuff said about us, but we're great. And it was like, why did you bring that up? Why did you start your show with 10 minutes, 15 minutes of you telling everybody how great you are and trying to say how we're great, we promise? It was so weird, all because a former wrestler did an interview on a podcast somewhere that not everyone really even saw. You had to come out here and do 10 minutes of we're really the best. You sound lame. Well, that's what this show kind of does. Not as maybe as obnoxiously, but like, it's just like, but I will say this. I want to say something. I will say something. This is probably the best episode 1 and 2 of Discovery that they've had. It's not really that Star Trek to me. It's not really good to me. But as a show, it's probably the best couple of opening episodes that they've had. So, and that's not saying a lot, but I think that I feel bad. I don't think they know what they're doing. I heard Michelle Paradise or something said they have all this canon they want to pay attention to, but they've destroyed canon multiple times. It's like they don't. What are you talking about? I don't understand what in the world they're doing, but I don't really like the show, and I'm not surprised that I didn't like it. What did you think? Let me know in the comments. This is Star Trek Late Night, and I wish Terry Matalas would be hired so we could get more Star Trek Picard Season 3, because that was the only good season of Star Trek since Enterprise. And that blows me away. See you guys later. Oh boy, wait till Starfleet Academy in Section 31. Oh my God, it's just going to get worse from here.